Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, esteemed fans. We welcome you to this exciting moment with Chigos and Debo here in Wave TV as we resume the in-depth analysis and political discourse. Today being Monday, of course, the 9th of September 2024. It's been an exciting weekend, though, with mixed reactions anywhere, as Nigerians continue to grapple, of course, for survival. The most recent happenings, over 48 persons were burnt alive, resulting to the incident of tanker, fuel tanker collapsing in Niger State. Casualties continue to increase. It's quite unfortunate. Wanton destructions of life and properties is what was experienced. Quite unfortunate for those who lost their life in these mishaps. It's quite unfortunate. May God console their surviving families. This is happening in Nigeria amidst the fuel crisis, amidst the fuel buhahas, and of course, frustration. People are still losing their lives. This is quite sad. It's a monumental national disaster, honestly. And I think the entire country should have been thrown into mourning. 48 persons and more, of course, is not something that should be taken lightly. This is quite unfortunate, as I have maintained, but then uh, it's become history. We have also got to discuss about the latest allegation of conspiracy of hate, sponsored by one Sheik Sani Yahya, telling his followers or Islamist adherents that Igbos were responsible for the scarcity of fuel. Now you begin to ask, what kind of hurt is this? What kind of unfortunate happenings is this? How can you continue to incite your own followers against a people who are innocent, who are not even part or integral part of this government of Nigeria? People who has been silenced, who have not been given opportunity to participate in the politicking and the political affairs of Nigeria. They are neither the president nor the minister of fuel or mineral resources or whatever you call it, minister of petroleum and other resources. So why should they be held responsible for an act, even what they are not in charge, they are not in control, they are not the Dangote building refineries. So in what way are they frustrating the scarcity, hampering the scarcity of fuel? Atiku has also made his own position known that increasing VAT, tax added, value added tax, okay, value added tax to 10% will ruin Nigeria, will destroy Nigeria. In the midst of this calamity, in the midst of this economic wars, Buhara disaster that is already ravaging the country, you want to increase VAT to 10%? You know what that means? You're just giving Nigerians or forcing them to commit suicide. This is what Atiku is saying. Well, this could be political, but the reality is starting at us. You know, the implication of increasing VAT, virtually bread will become 5,000 naira, and every other commodity will be adversely affected, just as we as Nigerians are still grappling to survive the recent the current economic wars. You can't add more pain, of course, to the already worsened agony. This is the position of Atiku. And the border guys have lamented and they are crying that their 30 months allowances has not been paid. Even in the same Nigeria, that people, 30 months is almost how many years? Close to 3 years. Their allowances for the border guards have not been paid. You know what that means? Would that be the reason why the infiltration of militaries and other armed groups, of course, are having a swear they have their way ravaging the entire country? Is quite unfortunate. And these are many more we are going to discuss. As you join us, kindly hit the like button, share this video, and of course, turn on the notification buttons as we resume today's political discourse here in Wave TV. I welcome you officially once again. You can as well make your position known via the comment section. Thank you, Chidera Ipa. Good morning, because you are getting on well. We are resuming, of course, in NS, and this promises to be very much exciting. Do you agree with the position of Sheik Sani Yahaya? Of course, I do not, but you have your right to your own opinion. Let's know what is your own reactions and perception, be, of course, over these topical issues just in a moment. As in France, we are getting ready, of course, to avoid any eventuality or technical breakdown. Yes, once again, as I rightly had said before the break, Sheikh Sani Yahaya have called on his followers that the Igbos who are opposed to the Muslim tickets are responsible for the scarcity of fuel in Nigeria. How? When? How does that happen? I mean, wonders shall never end, they say. And this is one of those wonders. It's quite unfortunate, but I wonder how people, if actually people have conscience, and if actually their conscience do appeal to them, how can you continue to nail or crucify a people who, for no any justifiable reasons, should be perceived as an enemy? How can an Igbo man be responsible for the economic woes, buharas, disasters, insecurity rocking the entire Nigerian state under the watch of His Excellency, the Gang Commander of Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ahmed Bola? Something else, but then we are good to go upon resuming discussion now. I apologize for the network. Yes, as we are discussing, it's not been well, of course, all has not been well in the last weekend, where we saw a very sad incident in Niger State. More than 48 to 50 persons were burnt alive because of the incidents of the fuel tanker that subsided. Unfortunately, uh, people's life was lost, several cars was set ablaze, and what else is quite unfortunate, but then the entire country has been torn into mourning. But then it appears that all is not going on well, even as Sheikh Sani Yahaya incites his own people against Igbo being responsible for the scarcity of fuel and, of course, the economic wars bedeviling Nigerians today. That is quite deception. It is unfounded allegations, and it is more or less mischievous and trying to incite the people. I think the DSS, if they are doing their job, should have extended the invitation to come and tell them why the Igbos are responsible for the fuel scarcity. And the Igbos, the one middling or negotiating with NNPCL and Dangote over the recent field or whatever discrepancies that ensued. It's quite unfortunate, and Igbos are not even within the cabinet of this current government of Nigeria under the leadership of Ahmed Bola Tinubu. What could have informed, of course, this renewed hostility, renewed conspiracy against the Igbo man? Why should they use an Igbo man, of course, to settle their scores anytime they are failing, anytime consider that the masses will hold them responsible for the economic woes and the buhahas that have plunged the country into. They want to create a narrative to change the entire narrative about what is happening rather than telling the population of this country and their followers that they are responsible for the calamity that have befallen them. They are now changing the narrative using Igbos as scapegoat, but this, of course, cannot work because the masses who protested, especially in the north, understood that Igbos are not in charge of this government. It's the government of Yoruba, it's government of Tinubu, it's the government of APC, and no Igbo man precise or has a major appointment in this administration of Ahmed Bola Tinubu. So an Igbo man should not be used as a punching bag, of course, to cover up their disillusionedness, their insincerity, and act of irresponsibility and misgovernance. Having sold their own conscience and their own people, of course, in exchange of whatever gains they stand to get, they should be able to own up their responsibility of felling their people. I'm not an evil man, of course, who is more or less not even concerned about whatever is happening. He's not responsible, he's not in charge. Let me know what is your own perspective regarding this renewed head, taking, of course, uh, reference from the history. This also presided the 1966 unrest, where the same people sponsored hate speech against the Igbos, inciting their own people to begin to see the Igbos as enemies or perceived enemies of the nation. It's quite unfortunate that Igbos has become the subjects of attack and hostility within Nigeria. How can somebody who called himself a clergy or perhaps uh, a religious leader be making such incitement, which is a deliberate lie intended to tarnish the image, the reputation, and of course, the identity of an Igbo man? It's quite unfortunate. This is an attack against the Igbo race and should not be seen or taken lightly by the concerned authorities if they really care, of course, about humanity. But whatever be the case, I think the Igbos also have the right to defend themselves and to make sure that this false narrative being pushed, sponsored in order to have the sympathy of their followers in support of the failing government or perhaps the government that have failed to live up to her responsibility or alive to her responsibilities rather than shifting the blames, endless blames, and mischievous ones against the Igbos. Well, let's know what is your own reaction regarding this development and what do you think would have informed this dangerous and very callous statement coming from a man who unfortunately should have grown up to tell his own members the truth and nothing but the truth can set them free. But if they so desire to continue wallowing in their own deception, in their own ignorance, in their own lies and deceit, well, so be it. And of course, that will not change the narrative, that will not change any story, that will not engender prosperity and progress to them. Because you can't continue to lie to people all the time. You may succeed lying to them some of the time, but not all the time. You can't have your way all the time. This is just the reality. People have grown up to understand the basic principles of economy and what could have plunged the entire country to this abysmal decline and economic woes. that have befallen Nigerians. When the Hausas in the north were raising the Russian flag, they were not mentioning Igbos being responsible for the calamity or the wars, economic wars that have befallen them. So how can you turn back to create just false narrative? The people understood more than you do. Of course, they have, according to information, that some Muslim group went to Sultan telling him that you lead us to this destruction. You asked us to support the Muslim ticket, and today here we are, of course, trapped in this mess, thus in this state of motionless and despair. Igbo man cannot be used, of course, to settle the scores. And this is very clear and very unfortunate indeed. Indeed, that is quite uh, unfortunate, rather. And then, very not just disturbing because the people are now growing up to know what the truth is, and that truth you can't see from them. They are aware what is happening, and of course, they are not responsible for the scarcity of fuels and other national disaster across the length and breadth. It is quite interesting and very interesting one for that matter. And we do, of course, expect your own reactions. Get to know what is your take. Don't forget to hit the like buttons. Don't forget, of course, to subscribe. Let's go there just in a moment. Hit the like buttons, we can do better so that we can get more of our esteemed analysts who are on the standby to discuss. Let's get together. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel called Waves TV, where we bring the unbiased reportage of events. Keeping it real has been our commitment, and to this end, we come your way this morning of Monday, the 9th of September 2024. More intriguing and exciting uh, revelations will be made in the course of this discussion. Let's hit the like buttons. We can do that in just 60 seconds or less, of course. It doesn't take much time or energy. As part of the rule of engagement, let's get on and come. Okay. Yes, I think this point is very more clearer this morning. It's quite interesting. We'll be able to get the right resolution for the camera and the cameraman. Thank you once again. I welcome you once again to this exciting moment with Chigos and Debo in today's political discourse. We are discussing about issues of importance as it borders on humanity and, of course, on the recent happenings here in Nigeria. An Islamic scholar or cleric have accused the Igbos of the indiscriminate scarcity, recklessness on the part of this political dispensation to provide solutions to the myriad of problems bedeviling the Nigerian populace and, of course, uh, bordering on the economy, security, and otherwise. And it's quite very much laughable. Can we hit the like buttons? This is Chigozie Ndebo in today's political rumbles or political discourse this morning. Let's get on together as part of the rule of engagement. As you join us, kindly hit the like buttons. And of course, let's go so that the YouTube algorithm can push the video to other viewers who will be interested in our discussion this morning. Don't be so selfish, of course, by not hitting the like buttons. It doesn't cost much, no additional price to that. As part of the rule of engagement, kindly hit the like buttons. You can see we are very much alert and agile for today's discussion and hope you are getting on well. Yes, let's get on with this discussion this morning. It's quite unfortunate that this is happening in Nigeria, as if we have not learned from history or from the past antecedents. The same way, of course, Igbos has become subjects of hostility, not just in the north, across virtually the regions of this country. And you understand that Igbos has that liberty and they have that entrepreneurial spirit and the spirit of creativity. Wherever they are, they reside, they see, are considered as their own, as an integral part of that society. And these inform reasons why, of course, they invest not just their time, their money in the course of their travels or immigration or migration to those regions. They volunteer to develop and contribute to the economic prosperity and progress of the regions where they found themselves. But unfortunately, this has been mistaken to be a fault and an attempt to dominate. No, nobody will have an equal playing ground. So if you think they want to dominate you, you have your own land, your own regions. Why not go and develop your own regions and, of course, extend your development to other parts of the region where you have comparative advantage and, of course, equal opportunity to compete favorably. Nobody is stopping anybody. But the unfortunate thing is that some persons have taken offense over the industrial nature and ingenuity inherent within an Igbo man. You can't stop a people who decides to move forward, who leaves their abos and, of course, convenience down to different parts of the country, only to develop and contribute to the internally generated revenue, and, of course, building, erecting houses, structures, facilities, and becoming one of the major employers of laborers, supporting the commerce, and being a very key leader, playing a very fantastic role in the commerce and development of industries. Should not be perceived to be the enemy. The same Igbo people are suffering the same fuel scarcity just as every other Nigerian. So the Sheik Sani Yahaya should be cautioned and, of course, squeezed by the appropriate security or personnel if they really meant well for all. But if not, well, the masses are watching to see what could be the outcome of this false allegations, unfounded and very mischievous as the case is. This is live and direct. We are live and direct. Thank you for those about 4 persons who have hit the like buttons. Well, you are neither doing a favor to me or doing something that is out of place by hitting the like buttons. We shall continue these discussions, and that no one can stop or take away from us. It is happening live and direct, and this is very interesting. Atiku has berated the government of Tinubu that increasing the value added tax to 10% will just more or less hack Nigerians to death. You know, even with this level of economic mishaps, sufferings, agonies, and pains Nigerians are passing through, any attempt to review the tax upwards, even after removing subsidy in virtually every the basic commodities that has direct impact on the masses, just like the fuel, the tariff, the electricity. It is enough. The people are already choking. And thank you very much. The people are already choking, and you can't continue to choke them to death. And that is the position of Atiku. Well, whatever be the case, the government is sucking for funds. And you begin to ask the other funds that have been raised through the board, through the borders, through customs, through the ports, and through the, of course, the sales of crude oil other mineral resources that is not even disclosed to the public. What are they doing with it? That is quite unfortunate. That now the masses have to bear the overbearing uh, pressure of increment in taxation. Well, let's see how people will respond to that and how Nigerians, of course, whether they will resist that or perhaps continue to swallow the bitter pills, the poisons, until they are choked finally to death. Only time will tell. Of course, the Senate President of the 10th National Assembly have said, well, we have the option either to choke them to death or allow them to breathe. But whatever be the case, we are going to be sipping our teas, taking our coffees, and regardless of whatever sufferings the masses have been plunged into, it should be considered as an alternative or secondary in terms of our priorities and, of course, the major concern of governance. The people are no longer the focus, but then their overriding interests or personal interests supersedes the welfare of the citizens. The government no longer consider the impact of her policy, of course, on the population or the Nigerian masses before implementations. They just come up without seeking for the input of the masses over how this will affect them positively or negatively. Even in this, I mean, when somebody is in a winter, you are now putting the person in a refrigerator to go and freeze himself. That is just nothing but the truth. People are suffering, looking for help. Unfortunately, the help is not coming anywhere, not even from the government. Everybody to himself. Of course, God for us all. If you don't let the devil takes you, it doesn't matter. By the way, uh, people who were incinerated, of course, within the weekend, unfortunately, that is gone. Their own case has been winded off. But then, if the government has put modalities in place, perhaps such casualties wouldn't have been recorded. You begin to ask whether the fighter, of course, firefighters, and of course, in the major roads, they should have installed all these emergency units or points in the major roads in case at least not more than 3 kilometers or so, and so that in the in the case of such incidents, some lives could be saved. The rescue teams could have come to the rescue of some, or perhaps uh, remedy the situation. But you know what that means. Not in Nigeria, it is not feasible. How are you doing, big guy? But that is just the case. You see, when systems are not put in place, when the life of the citizens are not the priority of any government, of course, they will think out how to better the lot and, of course, of the masses and ensure their safety at all times, whether they're on the roads or in their respective homes. The major roads should have been a concern. Unfortunately, most major highways are in the worst deplorable states. In fact, they are death traps itself, and let alone the recklessness on the part of the tanker drivers. If after inhaling whatever they inhale, they get out of the world, they don't consider any other person to be humans. They consider them to be animals, and the recklessness of these drivers, everybody trying to beat each other in the fast lane, eventually could have and lead to this avoidable disaster. It's very unfortunate. Children's families traveling, especially during this time that the schools are resuming. You can imagine if families and their children are on board and they got incinerated, they got burnt. People who perhaps are returning to resume their studies or their works, especially teachers, and every other person who might be traveling within the week in order to catch up with today's engagement. Unfortunately, got trapped, not just trapped, but unexpected disaster. They have to, okay, snatch life from them. This is quite unfortunate. Does the government learn from history? Does they learn from the past antecedents? Even with this one, and nobody learns, everybody to himself, life continues. But we are not telling ourselves the truth. Those facilities and systems must be in place to address this. Unfortunately, if even when they are present, the endemic corruption in the system have destroyed the functionalities and how viable such systems are. You see, in a fire extinguishing station where there is no even fire extinguishers, workable and functional, where the fire tankers are not even loaded, there is no even available water. They have to follow protocols of most instance about when a house was set ablaze. Was it Vice Embassy? It was learned that after 3 hours of distress call put across, they were stuck. They start coming, and you know what that's happens. Much destruction was incurred, something that would have been averted in the next 30 hours upon notifying the appropriate authorities. But then that is quite unfortunate. I want, of course, everyone to let us know what is your own perspective regarding this development. An Igbo man responsible for fuel scarcity in Nigeria? Could that be true? How? For me, it's quite unfortunate and very mischievous. Let's get to know what is your own perspective regarding this development. And some might just consider it as a mere distraction or frustration on the part of the Sheik, Sani Yahya, who perhaps because of his uh, deep-seated hatred for the Igbos, we want them to be seen or to incite the public against the Igbos. But such cannot happen again because Igbos are no longer taking that for granted or lightly because of the recent happenings. And the same people are saying, we want to go. Allow us to go. If you hate us, we don't hate ourselves. If you don't like us, we can get on, of course, without your compliment, without your approval, without even seeking for your commendations. Allow us to go to the wilderness. If we survive, we survive. If we, of course, stumble into fortunes, well, let it be a fate. But you can't stop us trapped in the wheel of motionless and despair. This is quite unfortunate, but then that is the reality happenings, of course, and that have not engendered peace and unity. According to Nigerian constitution, that Nigerian state will be an entity predicated on justice, equity, and fairness. What does that mean? That Nigeria will exist upon a tripod stand that is equity, justice, and fairness. And if those tripod stands begin to shake, if they have been distorted, there is nothing upon which the country will settle on or anchor upon. That is just the case. That Nigeria will be an entity predicated on justice, equity, and fairness. And in the absence of these three cardinal points, nothing like Nigeria. So for those who are concerned or who should know better, should understand whether this tripod stands or cabinet point upon which the existence of Nigeria was predicated upon, whether they are still in place or not. That will tell you how far such agenda has been defeated, or the Nigerian program or projects has been defeated, or how far functional and viable that is. But in the face of the current realities, there appears to be distortion of this very essence of human existence: justice, equity, and fairness. It's quite very unfortunate, but that is the reality unfolding before us. Who is the beggar? He's a beggar.
He's a beggar.
From where?
I don't life.
We are live and direct. You are looking sweet, and you are not looking as someone who should be pitied.
My brother, I'm dying in silence. Oh. Nothing. I just wear this coat. I'm dying in silence. You see, in Nigeria, we can pretend. We can pretend as if everything is there, as if everything is well. It's not well, oh. Let's say the truth. Oh. I'm an adult man. I have to say the truth. We are not afraid. We are dying in silence, dying we just wear cloth. Nigerians are dying under Imilocom. So for me, I don't think wearing a coat, that is a dash from foreign land, and you have to dress so that at least even fowl will not reject us, and goat. Before when we see goat, we say, hey, get. Now they are seeing human being now, we are pushing them out as if we are pushing goat. So we are dying on that, Tinubu.
Tanker accident in Niger State claim more than 48 lives. What is your reaction over this?
I blame the government, I blame the police, I blame the road safety. If any trailer want to move a goods from Lagos to Edo to East, you see policemen, road safety discharging the people who will sit after loading cow. They will have 50 people on top of that cow in trailer. If it's going to north, they will search. In fact, discharge everybody there. But if it's going to north, they will load 50 in the trailer. They will load 50. Human being on top. You will go successful and reach the north. Nobody will stop him. How many checking points do they have there? Go and check how many checking points we have from Lagos to East. More than thousands,
Could it be attributed to bad roads, or perhaps?
I'm going there now. I'm going there. So now they'll load them. When the accident occur, what will happen? You see, both the woman being and car will die as a result of bad road. This government and APC government and Buhari government, when Buhari want to leave, we were commissioning empty road, nothing there. Don't forget, we went to commission airport where you have not finished. We went to commission Dangote where he has not finished. Are you aware? How many years it took Dangote to finish? He has not even started, as I said. So, commission airplane. Ethiopia airplane.
That was painted.
That was painted. And today,
over 90 billion
yes,
went underground.
So, today, no road. The Minister of Works is busy flying that he's working. That is for Southeast. He's doing beauty of Tinubu. So the meaning of that we are a result of the bad road. But let's even remove the bad road. If it was only the animal that was there, I don't think no problem. Animal are made to slaughter. I don't understand me. But woman being there, almost 40 something, dying. That means it's a usual thing. If they were not loaded between both of them, animal and the woman being, I don't think you have almost 50 casualties died there. So it is not. I blame the road safety. I blame the police that doesn't put those people from Togate in Lagos State and allow the only cow to go. Because as the result of transport cost, you go to every salon, you see them load man be on top of a cow. So I blame the government. So the only thing proactive when a trailer is going to, even every vehicle going to Southeast, search them, harass the driver, harass the people on top. By then they harass you, you won't pack passenger again. You know what I mean? So I don't know why. We are being divided in this country whereby
Now, Sheik Sani Yahaya said that Igbos are the ones responsible for the scarcity of fuel in Nigeria, under Tinubu being the Minister of Petroleum and the President. And because of the Muslim ticket, they want to frustrate Tinubu government. The Igbos.
you know, you are an Igbo. I'm from Edo, but they call me Igbo. They
Of
call
course,
me Igbo.
you are Igbo now.
They call yes. They call
Ibibo,
other
Igbo,
people Igbo. They call Calabar Igbo.
Igbo.
So
So we
that
all
man,
are responsible.
let me tell you, that man is talking rubbish. I know, you know why? If you check government, Tinubu government now, do you believe some of these our South people and South and South East, they are resigning, they are leaving, because the kind of hypocrite and tribalism is happening in Asoro, where another guy is fighting Ikelari. That's what I mean.
Mm.
So how can you be seeing dollars, seeing naira, travel, say you want to resign? The man don't want to die there. You see, tomorrow, Ikelari will talk, say president is going to Brazil. Another guy will say, no, president is at home, he's not going anywhere. And both of them are working for president. So the man look, say, people are passing this APC government. Under Tinubu, Buhari, he was there. He don't want to behave the way like Mohammed, lie to Nigeria. If you check this man, that's why I don't like him, because he lie with Buhari agenda. And Tinubu again, for him to resign, the is telling you that more than 4 or 5 people have resigned under Tinubu government. They don't like the style of government in place, so they want to remove their name. I think that's what's happening. So not that he's sick, but there is fight in Asoro whereby the president, the chief of staff, no cooperator, president want to bring his brother every corner. That tribalism that he play in Lagos State, he still playing Asoro. You understand? He's playing there. That's why the man have to, the man have been abroad before. He was born there. You check it.
You believe that tribalism is playing in Lagos? How?
But the police is playing like your landlord tell you they don't want to give people house anymore because we voted for maybe Obi, we voted for Atiko that time. So they didn't vote for Tinubu. Tinubu lose Lagos. The landlord are using that advantage. Even the Lagos State government coming out to say if your children did not know how to, if you don't pass Yoruba exam, you not enter university or you not enter secondary school. Is that not tribalism? What are you trying to do? If Anambra bring the
If you
same
don't pass Yoruba exam, you will not enter
university or any secondary
secondary
school.
school.
So that's the indication that if Edo do the same thing, Lagos do the same thing, all states do the same thing. So that means everybody, the country is divided.
That's every other person ideology should be lost or identity should be lost.
Yes, yes. So,
because you are residing in Lagos.
So that tribalism that I play in Lagos State is playing. And what brought the tribalism? Igbo and Yoruba, when they come for business, they do their business neatly and laugh. But when they come for politics, they become lions and dogs.
Now, how are Igbos responsible for the scarcity of fuel? We need you to tell us.
The reason is that maybe where it's going is that most of the importation of this country, every importation, whether fuel, whether rice, whether everything, they believe people are the one bringing it. People has the money to pay. People man can bring 20 containers, 30 containers in a week. How many Yoruba will bring? Can Yoruba bring 1 container, 2 container? Yoruba are there for office and where they use barrow to at least to write and write. That's what they go for. But say you want to go and bring a spare part or import rice, all this is it's Igbo. That's what they believe, that Igbo is the one, but it's not Igbo. It's them. The anger.
Some Yorubas are into importations, and of course, Adenuga them and
Adenuga. It's the Igbo that handling it. They are just there.
Otedolas.
Like NPC is just an office. Name the people who are putting it. The really people who are going on the field. It's Igbo and Edo and this. But how many Apoki can go there and just go import suffer? When you can go import, go and check. I take example. Go to Ladipo. Go to where these big people. Go and check there. It's Igbo people. Ekule. All these big people. They don't importing many things.
Aspanda.
Yes. Go and check now. How many Yoruba do you see there? Yoruba only when you bring come, they collect their taxes. Warehouse, where they build warehouses. That's where they benefit. So I think president should be blamed for all this. It's increasing tax, increasing
Yes,
security.
10%. Atiku said that will kill Nigerians more.
Yes, well, not them that became Nigeria. Nigeria is dying under his Tinubu watch. We are dying. So taxes. That meaning don't do business anymore. Don't do anything. Just state. It's just like we're reducing half of Nigerians
You're taking blood from people who needed blood tonic.
and giving them bitter leaf and whatever. We're already bitter. Nigeria is already bitter. Why are you pushing us to war? It's pushing us to war. Now, if you survive, you survive. If you live, you live. If you don't live, you go. That is the aim of this government. APC is not doing well. So in my state, APC will reject APC. We reject them because APC are looked at as a poverty party. As a poor people.
Will Nigeria resist this move of increasing their sufferings and pain in the already worsening situation?
You see, let me tell you what they've done for fuel. They hold on the fuel and say no fuel. Before you know, NNPC come out and increase. And the NNPC director say, don't worry, 24 hours, weekend, you see fuel everywhere. But do you know, say we are seeing fuel now after increase. You know, anything increase can come down in Nigeria. They use that monopoly, use that advantage during Nigeria. So we are nowhere to be found. We only look like a late dog.
They said they sold NNPC, and now NNPC has become monopolizing, of course, industry. It's not monopolizing in the industry. It's not allowing free hands for people, independent marketers, to come in. It's now hijacking everything, monopolizing it, and deciding the fate of Nigerians.
You ask NNPC, who are the people that bought NNPC? Is it not say Kaba? And this thing is happening. If fuel was increased, Senator, they at home, they knew their plan. What is the oversight? They're not overseeing anything. They say allow this president to do anything in life. And still Nigeria react against them. Before no, they will sit tight. If not so, Nigerians are still watching.
Will Nigeria ever react to this development?
The last time they react, is the whole world was begging them, and the imam, the Christian was begging them, please, please, please. But did not reacted. Last time, South react on that during SARS. Now they not react and bad government. So this time, the one that are going to come by the grace of God, I believe, end hunger, and so that Nigeria take your destiny on your hand, because this government, these people are not worth dying for. Nigeria is not worth dying for. If you look at the man that created Nigeria flag, what did he pay him like a chicken? So my brother, this country this country is gone.
Nigeria is not worth dying for. Are you considering for an alternative nation? Being in Nigeria,
My brother,
you are fed up with your country, a country you called your own. You have an identity as a Nigerian.
Something I want to ask: when will the rapper come? Let it come, so everybody know where he belongs to. I think that's my aim. Let the rapper. Today we have been shouting for long. Let it come. When it comes, I believe we'll look for alternative sort of this Nigeria, so-called Nigeria, where some people say tribalism and hatred and backbiting. So we go there, the rapper will go there. And so far they did not bring this kind of practicing the Yorubas are practicing and did not. So if they bring that one, I think we'll find alternative. So let it come now, so that Nigeria will sit tight. If not so, we'll still be lamenting.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Mr.
you, my
Lucky.
brother. Thank you. I don't know the Lagos.
I don't know the Lagos. Of course, as we await the outcome of the Edo election, possibly Edo may eventually become Lagos. Then Lucky will come and tell us why eventually Edo is now Lagos. Thank you, Western fans, for being part of this discussion this morning here in Controversies TV. We wish you all the best of the logs and, of course, and intriguing moments in this new week. New week, new hope, new anticipations, and God's blessings. I remain Chigos and Debo, the host anchor. Bye for now until we come your way in subsequent editions.